The drama surrounding Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua has morphed from a wild hypothetical into one of the most divisive conversations in modern boxing. What once sounded like a viral fantasy now sits firmly on the sports calendar, stamped with a date, a venue, and the promise of real consequences. December 19, 2025, at the CASSA Center in Miami. Not an exhibition, not a playful crossover spar, but a fully sanctioned professional heavyweight bout. 10-ounce gloves. 8 3-minute rounds. A strict 245-pound limit placed on Joshua. Records on the line. Punches that count.
And millions watching to see whether this is the beginning of a new era, or a moment boxing will look back on with disbelief.
From the moment leaked training footage surfaced, showing Anthony Joshua blasting combinations with a kind of sharpness and aggression he hasn't displayed in years, people like Joe Rogan didn't hold back. He called Joshua terrifying. He warned that Jake Paul was stepping into a danger zone no amount of marketing or bravado could shield him from. Because this version of Joshua, lean, fast, focused, and fueled by the sting of criticism, looks more like the destroyer who once walked through world-class heavyweights, not the man who stumbled through psychological battles in recent years. And for Jake Paul, who has never been in the ring with a true elite heavyweight, that difference may be fatal. Jake's promoter, CASSA Center, insists that Paul belongs here. He argues that Jake has matured, gotten stronger, and gathered enough experience to pose a credible threat. But for every promoter defending him, there are 10 professionals pointing out what this truly is: a colossal step into a world Jake has never touched. Former champions, analysts, and lifelong boxers all echo variations of the same warning. Anthony Joshua does not punch like the men Jake Paul has fought before. He is not a smaller striker, not a faded legend, not a fringe pro. He is a 6'6", Olympic-bred, former unified heavyweight champion who has ended nights with a single shot that sounded like it broke the air around it.
And that's where the anxiety builds.
Dave Allen said it best: if Jake Paul even lands a clean punch on Joshua, people will question the entire sport. But if Joshua knocks Paul down in seconds, the fight becomes proof that boxing has fully embraced spectacle over skill. No matter how the result plays out, Joshua carries the heavier burden. All the pressure rests on him. Jake Paul can get knocked out in 10 seconds and still walk away calling himself a fighter who dared to challenge a giant.
But Joshua, with 25 career knockouts and fights in front of 90,000 roaring fans, faces a lose-lose scenario. If he dominates early, people will complain the fight was a sham. If he gets touched, his legacy becomes a target. If he struggles, critics will say his career has deteriorated. And if something unthinkable happens, if Jake Paul lands the shot of his life, boxing might never recover from the fallout. Yet something about Joshua lately feels different. Observers see a shift in him, the return of that mean streak, that focused, hungry destroyer who once walked through opponents with a calm ferocity. There's a psychological edge resurfacing, something forged through humiliation, rebuilt confidence, and a desire to silence everyone who counted him out. He has felt the highs of championship glory and the lows of crushing defeats.
He knows the sting of public doubt. And maybe, beneath all the noise, this fight represents more than a payday for him. Maybe it's a chance to reclaim command of his own story. Still, his critics aren't wrong when they question the motivation behind this matchup. Carl Frock believes Joshua is cashing out, maximizing earnings while avoiding the new wave of dangerous young heavyweights. Others argue that this fight exists because boxing sanctioning bodies have lost credibility, greenlighting any spectacle that generates enough revenue. Derek Chisora calls the idea of ranking Jake Paul an insult to every fighter who worked through the ranks the traditional way. Lawrence Oakley warns that the size difference between Joshua and Paul could lead to catastrophic consequences. And David Hay, with his alarming prediction, paints the darkest possibility: that Jake Paul could end up paying the ultimate price for stepping into a world where power, weight, and technique are not theoretical concepts, but forces that break bones and end careers. Despite it all, some voices believe Jake Paul has a puncher's chance. Tyson Fury, always unpredictable, suggested the overhand right could be Paul's one path to victory. Jake supporters argue that Joshua's chin has cracked before and could crack again. They point to AJ's inconsistency, his hesitation, his difficulty handling pressure in recent years.
In their eyes, Jake Paul walks into this fight with nothing to lose.
If he survives even a few rounds, he wins the respect he's been chasing for years. If he finds a miraculous opening, he shocks the world. And if he falls, he still walks away with notoriety, headlines, and the satisfaction of attempting the impossible. But when the camera zooms out, one truth remains. The size difference tells a story numbers can't soften. 6'6" versus 6'1". 82-inch reach against 76. A natural heavyweight against a cruiserweight who bulked himself into the big man division. And while Jake may have heart, ambition, and power, Joshua has lived in this danger zone his entire career. He has battled giants. He has been dropped and risen. He has been tested in ways Jake Paul has never experienced. As the world braces for this unprecedented matchup, people are left wondering whether this is a daring new chapter for boxing or a troubling sign of its direction. Is this fight a thrilling spectacle that brings new eyes to the sport, or a money-driven stunt that risks turning boxing into pure entertainment? Is Joshua protecting his financial future, or risking his legacy for a paycheck? Is Jake Paul being courageous, delusional, or both? Whatever happens on December 19th, one thing is certain: the world will be watching. Because no matter the opinions, the warnings, or the predictions, this matchup has captured something rare: global curiosity. It is a collision between two worlds, two mentalities, two versions of fame. And when the bell rings, all of the debates will be silenced under the weight of real punches and real consequences. Before you go, what do you think this fight truly represents? Is Anthony Joshua smart to take the money, or is he risking everything for a spectacle? Does Jake Paul stand even a small chance, or is he walking straight into disaster? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit the like button if you enjoyed this deep dive, and make sure you subscribe for more dramatic, story-driven breakdowns just like this.